Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. If you want to learn about football, this is the channel for you. Today we're doing West Ham against Manchester City, where apparently Haaland just scored another hat-trick for no reason. He's one of those players that I don't really like to watch because it sounds silly. All he does is kick the ball in the goal. He doesn't really do much else, but you know what? He's really good at that. We're going to cover all the little breakdowns and what's gone wrong here, but there is a fantastic thing that I talk about all the time, which I'm going to show you. Even though Man City concede a goal when they're doing this, I want you to watch what all of their defenders do. If you want to become a better player, watch and learn when I'm explaining that breakdown of what their back four is doing, even though they end up scoring an own goal. It's very interesting in what they do. Right, you can see they're under real no pressure. Great grammatication, Cash. Well done. But this shows the importance of how sloppy passing and sloppy play you just get scored on in a second in the Premier League. The pace and the power of the Premier League isn't like other leagues. It is very, very different. And this you could get away with 9 times out of 10. But against Man City, you can't. This little chappie, he's passed the ball in there, looking for a little give and go, trying to shift the ball. But everyone's being a little bit lazy and a little bit, flippant with the ball. Watch the difference here as we move this. Right, Bosch, he's got the ball here. He's looking for a simple pass to his teammate. Now, I understand why he's done this, because he's bad at the football when he's making this pass, this little guy here, and he's passing the ball into this player here. Now, we used to argue with bad players all the time. They said, well, we're not giving you the ball because there's a player marking you. There's a player behind you. I'm like, well, I know there is. I want it to me at pace so that I can turn and do something with it. Give me a good pass in and I'll beat the player behind me. I know there's a player behind me. I know. And the bad players they couldn't understand it. They go, well, I can't do, because you can't do it. It doesn't mean that we can't do it. So we want the ball, play to our feet with pace so we can control it and move forward. This guy here, you can see what he's doing here. He's trying to play the ball into this space here because he's worried about this player here. That's exactly what he's done here. Subconsciously, he's in a bit of a panic. Right, watch what happens with this bad pass. Bosch, off it goes. Can you see? He's laid it to his teammate there. He's not really expecting it. And also his body position, he stood still-ish and he's not on the run. Where I think it's Bernardo Silva here. He's on the run and he's going and he's going to nick this ball right here. Now, here's the other point. Nobody else is reacting. Look, right here, this guy should know straight away his teammate's in trouble and get there as fast and as quickly as possible. No, there's no sort of, oh my God, we're going to lose the ball and panic because, they're going to score immediately because we're a little bit too open. Why are they open? Because they had possession. So that they're defensive, just a couple of yards further apart than they normally would be. And he just whips in here, nicks the ball, dosh, and look at that open gap. Now he's panicking. Now it's too late because Haaland's already sniffed it and he's going. But you can see that though, as soon as that little guy's made a mistake in midfield, the defenders need to automatically start getting back together. And yes, it's that quick. That's what I'm talking about. The difference between world-class defenders and just your Premier League defenders is that reaction time there. Just one. That's it. That's what they need to do. Bang, bang, and move. Haaland's already on his little bike. He's going in. His first touch sets himself up beautifully. And Haaland does what Haaland does. He kicked the ball into the net box. Pacha! He didn't make a sound effect, so he doesn't get double points. He should know better. Let's get on to the next goal, because this is the important coaching breakdown part that I want to try to explain to you guys. So if you know the 5-second rule, what's going to happen in the Premier League? And yes, it even works for Man City. In the next 5 seconds, someone's about to score a goal because somebody's telling somebody what to do. Yes. But what I want you to watch is every single one of these Man City players when I move this clip on, right? Remember, you look at the ball, you look at the player. You look at the ball, you look at the player. And they all do it perfectly. I'll play as much as I can because the biggest problem I have is I get copyright strike for trying to play things forward. That's why I ramble so much. But just try to watch their heads pivot. If you don't see it much in this, go watch the original clip and actually just replay it a couple of times and you'll actually see it and you'll go, oh yeah, they're looking at the ball, they're looking at the player, they're looking at the ball, they're looking at the player. Watch what they do here. Let's move it forward. 1, 2. Do you see him? Dum, dum. Head move, head move. Do you see that? Look to the ball, look to the player. Goes out wide again. Looks at the ball, looks at the player. Do you see him turn his head? Look to the player. Look to the ball. Look where his head is. Checking out the player. Checking the ball. Everyone is doing it. Everyone's looking at the ball, changing their head to look at the player. Everyone's doing a really good job of checking and being aware of the situation. Because if you're aware of the situation, you can defend the situation. Now, they end up getting an unlucky reboundy goal in from which we're going to see. But perfect. They're all doing it. And it carries on all the way down into the box. See if I can play this little bit. Watch this little wee man here. Dum, dum, dum. Check. Look, checks into the midfield here. See if there's any runners coming in. And as he moves forward, he'll do it straight away again. Look, back, back, back. Checks the ball. Goes and looks back again. Really, really well. Look where his eyes is. He's looking this way. He's not looking at the ball. By the way, that might be the reason why he ends up giving up the own goal. When you watch that free flowing, and I advise you that you do, you'll be able to see how much they turn their heads and they look at everybody else, okay? But let's just carry on for a little bit and watch him accidentally kick the ball into his net box. As it moves on, Dosh comes across. He's reacting a little bit too late, cutting the cross out. Now, here's the other part. Just because he's looking, it doesn't mean that he hasn't understood the threats, because he identified them. He knew there was a guy on the back post, but he didn't really sort of understand them, if that makes sense, because he wouldn't have panicked, because he knew no one was running in. He knew no one was coming over there. So just looking at the player and looking at the ball and understanding it doesn't mean that you're going to react appropriately when this little cross comes in over here. Bosh, in it comes, nice and simple, and he ends up ricocheting off him. He may have done a little bit better with that, but yeah, it's own goal. There we go. Let's get on to the next goal, because we've got some good stuff to talk about. Okay, this is a real bit hard to show you, because obviously I have to play it in full motion for you to get the understanding of what's going on here, but I'll try to do it as best as I can with my boomer skills. Right, West Ham have kind of got suckered by this run here. Okay, fine, that happens. Now you're looking at defending the box here. But basically what everyone does here is just move it onto the next player, move it onto the next player, and then they kick it into the net box. And no, it's not there, it's about there, they do it. And West Ham can't keep up with it. They can't adjust their shape and their players quick enough as the ball gets moved down across the line. So Haaland just does what he does and smash it into the net box. So there's the first little layoff, one touch there. West Ham player is going to go for it as soon as he does, but of course they're not aware, because right now, and this is the problem, they're getting so caught up in the ball movement. Watch what happens. He's going to drift and find this massive pocket of space here, but you can see how many of the West Ham players are now back chasing the ball, and there's no real shape because, well, they're just moving the ball just a little bit too quickly for them. So let's move this ball on, and it's gone straight to this little wee man here. Now, of course, the panic sets in because he's on top of the 18-yard box. So they're over pressure here. They're overcompensating. They're trying to get there as fast as they can. And guess what? They end up 1, 2, 3, 4 players pressure the ball, and Haaland's checked back in for a second. Now he's in a perfect spot to receive the ball because they're over pressuring, because, well, they're just getting caught out by the movement of the ball. Touches it and slots it into the top corner. And let's be fair, that's a quality finish on his left foot there. That's a really, really good finish. Got to give credit where credit's due. Yeah, they get pulled apart a bit, but that finish there, that's world class. Let's get on to the next goal. So this is cool. It's a simple up, back and through. So it goes up, he knocks it back, and he looks to play the ball through. It's a simple thing. It's very similar, actually, the way that he finishes this goal, the way that Kai Havertz did in the Arsenal game. So if you want to go check that video out, you can. But it's more important here. When he receives this Man City player here receives the ball, he shouldn't be allowed to just do what he does. The West Ham player, I think it's this little chappy here, is coming after it, and he just gets beaten way, way too easy. Watch right here. He gets beaten way too easy. Just skips round him because of he's coming to the ball way too eager, too fast, and now he just needs to pick out Haaland's run, which he does. Now, this is where I kind of go, because it's a goalkeeper stuff, right? With goalkeeper stuff, when they're one-on-one like this, I kind of like him coming out and then sort of backing off. So he comes out to narrow the angle and then he starts to sort of come away. The problem is you're against Erling Haaland and he's just going to beat you. So it's very, very difficult. Like Havertz did. If Kai Havertz can chip you, I'm sure Erling Haaland can. So I never really give the keepers too much grief in these scenarios, because the way they lost the ball in the midfield and the way how far the back four was up and letting Haaland run through completely unmarked are the real issues that I can address. Because if I can stop that, I can stop the keeper being 1v1 every week. Yeah? Great. If I have the keeper trained on 1v1s every week, how much of my time is that really worth with my keeper? That's how I look at things as a coach. It's right. Let's just say you've got 60 minutes and you don't. Let's just say you do. How much time of that am I going to allocate to in 60 minutes? You could say 6 days of training, 1 day of training of 10 minutes of 1v1s. Is it more efficient for me to do this with my goalkeeper than that, or teach my back four to actually play properly, not lose the ball and tackle properly in midfield? Well, yeah, that's way more important. So that's what you would focus on. Because Haaland's through here. Let's just watch his quality finish. As a little touch, Bob flicks it. and he gets himself another hat-trick. Yeah, do think Arsenal are still going to win the league, but I tell you now, Man City are on a bit of a charge. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.